The real secret of Judaism is not monotheism. The real secret of Judaism is when God came down to Mount Sinai, he came down. He came down to Mount Sinai and told us all about himself. So when he said, don't kill, don't steal, don't even covet your neighbor's donkey, he wasn't only telling you what to do, he was describing himself. You want to know about me? Can I tell you what I like, what I dislike, my loves, my hates, my preferences? I'll tell you everything. It's okay when you eat cow. When you eat pig, it bothers me. It bothers me when you're angry at each other. I need you to get along and love your fellow Jew. I need you to honor your mother. Well, you need to honor her too, but I need it more. It's my commandment. I thought of it first. So when God says honor your father and mother, he's describing himself. This is me. This is what it means to be God. So for example, he created the world in 6 days. By the end of the 6th day, he was done. So what did he do on the 7th day? Gunished. So he rested. Aha, it's Shabbos. No. God had a holy day in which he is himself. 6 days, he was creating the world. He wasn't being himself. He was involved in creation, like a carpenter. By the end of creation, God went back to being himself. That's why Shabbos is holy. So Shabbos is holy before he created the world. On Shabbos, he went back to being himself, like before creation. So it's not like if it had taken him 8 days to create the world, he would have rested on the 9th. No. He created the world according to his needs. He didn't decide what he needed after he created it. So actually, what happened at Mount Sinai, and we call it revelation. What revelation took place at Mount Sinai? God revealed himself. What does that mean? We all knew there was a God. Adam and Eve spoke to God. Noah knew there was a God. Avram spoke to God. Yitzchak. What was revealed that we didn't know before? We knew there was a God. We had no idea what he was like. We had no idea that he cared. We had no idea that it bothers him if we do certain things and pleases him greatly if you do other things. So basically, God bared his soul at Mount Sinai. The comedy of marriage is that God invented it. It's a divine idea, not human. It's a divine idea that asks human beings to be something more than human. Now that's funny. You're going to do something divine? What else do you do that's divine on a given day? God is asking us to do something divine. And what is divine about it? To get bigger than yourself. To be able to hear another person without imposing your own prejudices. If your wife is sensitive about her idiot sister, and we're not debating whether she's really an idiot, a big idiot, a little idiot, it doesn't matter. You got to hear what the other person is saying. If it bothers her when you make fun of her sister, then that is the biggest crisis in your life. And not only should you not make fun of her sister, but you should become the one to protect her sister from any ridicule or criticism. Because you're on her side. You're there to make her life
better, easier, and more pleasant. This is a little more than the human nature dictates. So we're asked to be divine. One of the reasons for marriage, I'm sure there are many, is that we have a whole list of qualities, virtues, good things about us that we may never use. How often do you have to be tolerant? How often do you have to be forgiving? How often do you have to be empathetic, sympathetic? How often do you have to sacrifice your comfort for someone else's? If you weren't married, hardly ever. But when you're married, every good quality you possess is going to be activated. You're going to need to use it. And that is the best part of marriage. When we resent that, then we've got the wrong idea of what marriage is. Marriage literally is a godly idea. It's not two people fell in love and decided to get married.
What we really should be looking for is not how we're the same. We really should find what makes us unique. Because if we don't know who we are, that's not a good starting point. So if a man says to a woman, we're just friends. We're just friends. I don't even think of you as a woman. Thank you very much. Imagine somebody, a non-Jew, says to me, you know, I'm not really comfortable with Jews. I don't like Jews. But you, I like you. I don't even think of you as a Jew. Thank you very much. If you don't think of me as a Jew, I don't know who you think is a friend of yours, because I am a Jew. In other words, if you can't love me as a Jew, then you don't love me, because I am a Jew. If you don't love me as a woman, then you don't know me. Then it's not me you're talking to, because you're a woman. So the question is not how to homogenize. The question is how to appreciate the uniqueness, the strength of each other, and to respect it. In other words, we're equal in the respect, not in the functions, the roles, the purpose, the strengths and weaknesses. On the contrary, the more we respect the uniqueness of a woman, the closer we're getting to peace in the world. By homogenizing, we're not getting anywhere. I mean, we've tried it. It's been going on for hundreds of years now. Are women better off? Financially, maybe. But that doesn't make them healthier women, just richer. So to not appreciate the uniqueness of a woman is disrespectful. And I think everybody would agree, those days when the average man would stand up when a woman walks into the room. Is something wrong with that? That's not good? It's very good. So, you don't stand up when a man walks in? Yeah, because a man is a man, a woman is a woman. So we got to get deeper into what it is to be a man, what it is to be a woman, what it is to be a Jew. This homogenizing philosophy, we've tried it desperately. I don't know if it's working. I don't know if it's doing anybody any good. So we got to be careful with equality. Equality in what? In everything? Come on, that's not good. So what we're trying to do is regain the respect that we once had for women. So this, I think, is an important principle. When we want to be rich, are we fighting God on this? Because we're not born rich. Well, if we're not born rich, maybe we're not supposed to be. Maybe he doesn't want us to be rich. So we're arguing with him, we're fighting with him, we're trying to twist his arm. What makes you so confident that he's going to let you be rich? And I think the best answer is he wants you to be rich much more than you want to be. Because he made a big investment in creating this world. You didn't. You're here for a couple of years and then you're leaving. He's stuck with it. So who wants this world to succeed more? Of course, the Creator. It's his project. He wants us to be healthy. He wants us to be successful because he wants his world to work at peak performance. So you're not fighting God. It's not like you want to be rich and he doesn't want you to, and you have to outsmart him. So you trust that he will give you the blessing, not because he owes it to you, but because he's more interested in it than you are. That's called bitachon. When is the sin really fixed? When it becomes a mitzvah. But how does that happen? How does an intentional sin become a mitzvah? So, a sin in general means doing something that was created by God with a divine spark, but that divine spark is so deeply buried under the unholiness that you can't get to it. In the same way that Haman appeared to be so corrupt that you can't get to the godliness within Haman. And that's why a sin is called asur, forbidden. It also means unreachable, locked away. So when a person does a sin, even if he's doing it for a good reason and with good intention, his good intentions do not connect to the godliness in that act because it's simply not available. And that's true of all sins, how much more so of an intentional malicious sin. So the godliness in the sin is completely unreachable, unredeemable. And yet, when you do tshuva, the godliness that is buried in that sin is released and redeemed, and it becomes a mitzvah. So, here's how the Rebbe says it. The reason that tshuva has the power to transform an intentional sin into a mitzvah is because when you do tshuva, you are arousing the Baal HaRotzen, God himself, whose will it is that you not sin. So there's the will, and there is the one who wills. So when you commit a sin, you are violating the will. In order to fix it, you got to go deeper and higher to the one who wills, the one who wants. So when you get to the Baal HaRotzen, when you get to God himself, the part that is even higher and prior to the will that you not sin, there you can get forgiveness.